Coming up on this episode of the Curt podcast, I look at recent roster moves and the start of training camp is here. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's time to start the show. What up, dude? And welcome to the Curt podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. I'm Curt. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with fellow Lions fans just like yourself. Today is Friday, July 21st, 2023. And shout out to Herman Moore and my family over at Lions Nation Unite. I know I haven't been here in a while or done any Lions content, but I went back to school, man. So I had to make sure I got my footing right so I could balance schoolwork and making content. So it was a perfect time to take a quick hiatus because it was slow news cycles. But I'm back now, and let's get after it. The Lions rookie reported to Allen Park on Wednesdays for training camp. Now vets come in tomorrow. So kiss the kids, tell your spouse that Lions football is back, and I'll see you on and off until at least January. This is the most anticipated season for the Lions I can remember in a long time. So us fans are excited. So, man, it is a great time to be a Lions fan. Late on Wednesday night, Brad Holmes made a move to strengthen the depth at the wide receiver position for the Detroit Lions, trading a conditional 2022 sixth-round pick to the Jets for Denzel Mims and a 2025 seventh-round pick. So you give up one pick that's conditional and give back a player and a pick. That's some shrewd moves by my man Brad Holmes, man. The villain strikes again. Now, Mims was a highly touted receiver. He was drafted out of Baylor in the second round, 59th overall by the New York Jets. He has good size at 6'3" and 207 pounds. Great speed at 4.38 in the 40. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. If on the surface, the dude hasn't had a great career. 3 years in the league, he only has 42 receptions for 676 yards. That was 3 years out there in Gang Green. We all know what numbers look like for a good receiver. We know that we got one on our roster that does this in half a season. But I digress. Because I think that the fact that it wasn't really all his fault. My man played in some really bad offenses. And guess what? Receivers are a position that you can't throw the ball to himself. So, but the conditions of the trade for the conditional sixth-round pick is simple. If Mims make the roster, the trade goes through. As listed above, if Mims doesn't make the roster, no picks are exchanged, and it's a free look at a receiver who he has good size and speed, and he's going to be a help for the Lions. Now, the Lions had to make a corresponding move. You know, the roster was already filled to 91 because we got the exemption for the overseas player. But the Lions released the money badger. Michael Badgley was released to make room for Mims. Now, the money badger did not kick at all during the spring. So, brother may be dealing with an injury. He doesn't have to clear waiver. He's a veteran, so he becomes an automatic free agent. If a roster spot becomes available, Michael Badgley can re-sign with the Lions. So right now, the Lions kicking battle is between Riley Patterson, who the Lions brought back via trade. We all know about the trade. Trading for a player that you had on your roster who went to another team. People question that move, but Riley Patterson has a stronger leg than Michael Badgley. Badgley was accurate, but the goo couldn't get it outside of 50. He struggled. So we brought back Riley Patterson, and you got Parker, the Romo cop, man, is on the roster. The outstanding kicker that we got from the XFL. Hold on, not Canadian football, XFL. So Parker, Romo coming to the Lions to start that kicking battle. So we'll see here on the weekend and practice starts. But back to the Mims trade. So Denzel can provide a backfield for Jameson Williams while he serves his 6-game suspension for betting on non-NFL games. we all know that he's going to be out for a minute. But Ben Johnson has another speed weapon to pair with Jamar Gibbs early in the season. Once Williams returns, the Lions in week 7, the Lions will have 3 players on offense that runs a sub 4-4-40, excuse me. So Jared Goff's going to have some plenty of weapons to throw the ball to this season, but Mims really kind of fell out of favor. Didn't have good numbers. Like I said, again, I don't think it was his fault, but Aaron Rodgers came in and was like, I want this guy, I want that guy, I want this guy, bring these guys in. One guy had already beat him there, Alan Lazard, but the Jets was like, okay, Aaron, we'll get you the guys you want outside of Garrett Wilson. So, but Brad Holmes, I talked about it before. I mean, he really got something for that could end up being nothing. I mean, it's a conditional 6th-round pick, but he got back a player and a pick. I mean, I like it. I mean, it's a prove it deal. It's one of those things. It's a Brad Holmes special where you come in and you get a chance to revitalize your career. And that's what happened for Denzel Mill. He has a chance to restart his career in the Motor City, and we'll see what happens. And I welcome to Detroit, young fella. Hopefully you can restart your career here. I don't know if it's going to be long term or short term, but the kid's young. I mean, 25 years old, so he has the chance to make a long term impact in Detroit. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment for more content from your boy Curt Steele. Go over to curtsteele.com. You can check out my articles I wrote for yardbarker.com and Sideline Report. More articles are coming over there soon as well. So make sure you go right there and check out right there on the homepage. You can get your Curt Steele gear right there too. You can get this What Up Though shirt and this nice, you know what I'm saying, Curt Steele cap over on the Lions Nation Unite. The link is in the homepage of curtsteele.com. So go over there and check that thing out. Now, let's get back into some roster moves that the Detroit Lions made over the last couple of days. Detroit Lions placed 3 players on the non-football injury list before the start of training camp. There are 3 players that are on the list. Of course, rookie quarterback Hendon Hooker, he's still recovering from the ACL. He's still a couple months away. You got tight end Derek Deese Jr. and another rookie, Zach Morton, a defensive lineman. The Lions placed those players on that NFI list, non-football injury. They count against the 90-man cap roster. They cannot practice at training camp while they're on a list. All they can do is rehab, do some conditioning drills, things of that nature. However, they are eligible to come off that list at any time before the start of the season. Now, you look at that, and they will be immediately able to practice once they come off the list. However, if they remain on the list heading into the season, they will not count against the team's 53-man rosters. After the veterans report on Saturday, I got a feeling we're going to have a bigger list, maybe not football injury, but players physically unable to perform list, the PUP list. I think a few candidates for the PUP list may be Emmanuel Mosley. We now know he's coming off that ACL as well. Levi Onwuzurike, Malcolm Rodriguez is another guy that I think that may be on the candidate for that PUP list at the start of training camp. But hopefully the team comes in healthy and ready to go when practice start on Sunday. Like again, the rookies reported on Wednesday, vets report on Saturday. They go through all their conditioning tests, and actually training camp starts on Sunday. I hope everyone went out there and got their tickets for the training camp. I live in North Carolina, so I wasn't able to attend this year, but hopefully I will get up there soon. But congratulations to everyone that will be attending. I know it's going to be a great training camp. I know people are disappointed that one thing that did come out is that due to scheduling conflicts, there will not be a family day at Ford Field this year. All the practices will be held at Allen Park. So, but enjoy, man. I'm jealous. I wish I was able to come up there, but it's all good. I will watch from afar, and I would definitely get my news and notes, man, from my little sources up there at Allen Park while training camp's going on. All right. Well, before I get out of here, man, I gotta bring back a segment. I know you guys loved it over there on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, but it's time for dessert with your man Curt. Uh, it's tiny, sweet pieces of news and information about the Detroit Lions. Now, shout out to two Detroit Lions giving back to the youth of the community in Detroit. Both of them happened last Saturday. On Saturday, Tracy Walker hosted a skills camp and gave out 1,000 backpacks, filled with school supplies. Walker partnered with it's called a Jeep Wrangler club called Black Jeepers. It's a female club. You know, they all of them rock them Jeep Wranglers. They partner with Tracy Walker to collect the school supplies for the kids. They had a skill camp, man, and that's a great thing for Walker to give back to the community. He said, hopefully, he said he doesn't want this to be the first and only time that he does that. But he said he will be back for many years, make sure he can give him back to the community and the kids of Detroit. Now let's get to my man JMO, because you know he gets a lot of bad press. So we're gonna do some positive things about my man JMO. JMO hosted a skill camp. It was broken down into two groups. We had the younger kids in the morning, and then the older kids in the afternoon. Uh, it was a few miles down the road from where Tracy Walker was holding his skill camp. Now he spoke to the kids about the struggles of growing up in a tough city, comparing Detroit to his hometown of St. Louis. Williams gave away some pretty cool swag, man, some t-shirts and these huge trophies to some of the best performers in the camp. And his dad was there. He said he made a comment about the negative press that he's been getting. He said, man, Williams signed up for that. When you go pro, that's what you sign up for. Williams is not really worried about the negative either press from the media or on social media. So he said, man, let's just go ahead and keep it rolling and do something positive. He knows that, you know, anything he does is with in a microscope, but he doesn't worry about it. He's just going to be who he is. And one of the things that someone asked him about was going out on a 6 mile, getting those conies. He said, man, someone told him about one of the best food spots in the city. He just wanted to get some late night food, man. And he said that it was what it was, but the people in the deli took care of him, man, and they made sure he was cool and he walked out of there unscathed. So, man, stop worrying about that, brother. Man, stay out of his business. Mind your own. But good job, JMO, for doing some good things out there, and Tracy Walker for doing big things in the community right there. And that was your dessert with your man Curt. And it's time to go ahead and break down, man. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of the Curt Steele Podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and for more content from your man Curt Steele, go over to curtsteele.com. You can find the links to all my content, all the videos, and you can get all of my content from Sideline Report and yardbarker.com. Now, it's time to do your man Curt Steele the biggest favor that he can ask you to do, whatever you do in life. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. This is Curt Steele, and I will holler at you real soon.